What's it going to do to you, practically?
Well, to a lot of people who are, well, again, because of their borderline, who are making livings right now and working, it could put some under. They're just maybe just a little too much burden. What we're saying is if we could spread that burden out a little bit and still bring it, rebuild stocks, and also keep the fishermen going and working. We want to keep people working.
Tough problem to negotiate between the Management Council and the fishermen. Good luck with it. Thank you both for being with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Again for more Iowa news and weather at 8:25.
Until then, have a great Wednesday. Stay tuned to Channel 5. Good Morning America continues.
A Frenchman is after Woody's girl on the next Cheers.
Hi, I'm Emmy Redmond from Gloucester. I'm Gladys Spittle from Rockport. Good morning, America! And good morning, everyone. I'm Joan Lunden.
And I'm Charles Gibson. Good to have you with us on this Wednesday, May 13th from Gloucester, Massachusetts, the third stop on our New England bus tour.
That's right, and Gloucester, Massachusetts is a town of about 28,000 or so. It's really a town that kind of owes its life to the sea, and we're going to be taking a look at life in this town.
Standing right behind, we're standing right in front of the trawler, the Carol Ann, that's right behind us, and they're fixing up the nets. They actually drag these nets between two boats. The Carol Ann has just returned, I'm told, from 7 days out. Came back with what is it, 60,000 pounds of fish. Each boat had 30 tons of fish, and these nets go across about 130 feet, but way down, and they can harvest an enormous amount of sea in just one trip.
And we're going to find out more about life in Gloucester this morning. We're going to meet two women who are fishermen's wives, and they're with an organization called the Fishermen's Wives, and they are very active. They take care of a lot of business while the guys are out at sea. Also this morning, our Denise Richardson is going to have a piece for us, a fishing tale that really shows you what happens from the catch from the sea till it gets to you at the supermarket. Very interesting. Also, we are going to bring you our traditional home video and show you the tale of our trip yesterday from Portland, Maine, here to Gloucester, Mass. Right now, though, we'll go back to New York, and Mike Schneider has the news for us. Mike?
Thank you, Joan. Good morning, everybody. It is just about time to step out, reach out, and grab. 3 astronauts have now been ordered to take history's first 3-way spacewalk to rescue that stranded satellite today. The past 2 efforts to latch onto the satellite failed, so NASA really had to do some thinking, and officials decided on unusual methods. The 3 astronauts basically have been told now to go out there, grab a hold of Intelsat with their hands, bring it aboard, repair its rocket motor, and then send it into a useful orbit. Presidential politics now on this Wednesday morning. 2 primaries were held yesterday, West Virginia and Nebraska. No surprises to report from either place. President Bush and Governor Clinton each won big. The president's locked away the Republican nomination already, and every week brings Clinton closer to locking up the Democratic nomination. He is now only 327 delegates away from going over the top, and Clinton should be able to do that on the last day of the primary season, June the 2nd. Other news this morning, the National Guard is now starting to pull out of Los Angeles. California Governor Pete Wilson has cut the number of Guard troops still on duty from 10,000 to 6,000. Wilson says the remaining troops will be pulled out gradually. The Marines and the Army troops who were pulled out of Los Angeles over the weekend remain on alert status at bases in the Los Angeles area. President Bush held a strategy session with congressional leaders yesterday. They unveiled a 6-point plan to help give the nation's cities a boost. The Democrats said they would support it. Still to be worked out, though, is how to pay for it all. Federal government is also supposed to be pitching in to help L.A. in another way by freeing up banks to pour in the credit. ABC's Stephen Ogg has details now in this morning's economic report.
Good morning. Officials at federal banking agencies say they're taking steps to encourage financial institutions, banks, and savings and loan associations to finance the rebuilding of parts of Los Angeles and other cities hit by recent riots. One example, the 4 agencies say efforts to restructure loans or extend repayments for those whose business or property were destroyed will be encouraged and should not be subject to criticism by bank examiners. Meanwhile, banking could become more expensive early next year. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation says it wants to raise the base rate for government deposit insurance to 28 cents for $100 of deposits from the present 23 cents. At the same time, the FDIC may base insurance premiums on the safety of each bank. A bank with too many risky loans would pay a higher premium than a bank with good, safe loans. On Wall Street, markets reopened following a drop yesterday. The Dow fell about 12.5 points as traders took profits from recent record highs. Finally, a study for American Express says the nation's economy would grow faster if Americans did not borrow so much on their credit cards. What's more, it says a 2 percentage point drop in the average credit card interest rate would put $7 billion back into consumers' pockets, increase savings by nearly $3 billion, increase sales by $4 billion, and create nearly 16,000 jobs. That would give the economy a small charge. That's the economy this morning.
And speaking of small charges, Exxon Corporation is doing its part to reduce credit card debt out west. Exxon says starting September the 1st, it will no longer accept its own credit cards in 4 western states. They include Utah, Nevada, Oregon, and California. Exxon has also decided to close down all of its stations in Southern California by the end of the year. The company says both moves are designed to cut costs. Exxon reported a 40% drop in profits in the first quarter of this year. Let's go quickly north, Concord, Mass. Spencer Christian standing by with the colonial forecast.
All right, Mike, and let's hope it's not very revolutionary, okay? This, of course, the famous North Bridge behind me over the Concord River, the spot where the battle was fought that actually launched the American Revolution, the famous shot heard around the world, April 19th, 1775. The original North Bridge was a little bit farther upstream there. This is the 5th North Bridge, and we'll tell you more about the history of this area. And right now, we're going to launch into the weather. Take a look at the satellite animation and see what's been going on during the overnight hours. Out over the Rocky Mountain region, you can see it's not completely cloudy. A few scattered clouds here and there. There have been some showers.